Hello, my Scrappy friends. It is Jess here from the Scrappy Sisters, and thank you for joining me for a guest crafter layout that I am creating for the Rosie's studio. And I'm using their super amazing brand new collection called Jumping in Puddles. I do have a little sneaky coupon code. It is all capital letters, Jess JP10. So Jess JESSJP10. If you are interested in checking out this collection, definitely make sure you use that coupon code to sneak yourself a little discount. So I am using the pink 12x12 sheet that has beautiful cross-stitched hearts printed all over it. And the gorgeous Kelly from Kelly Made It has a free cut file over on her blog. I'll pop that in the description box down below. That literally is a cross-stitch love heart, like grid. It's literally what I just used, which is exactly what the pattern paper was. And I was like, oh my goodness, I have to use this. So thank you, Kelly, for your incredible creativeness of making that cut file. I love it. And it just worked so perfectly for this layout and for that pattern paper. And you can see that I just did a few random ones in gold thread just to change it up and have a little bit of fun, exactly like the pattern paper. I just mimicked the pattern paper, you guys. It was no creativity on my part whatsoever. It is just identical to how the pattern paper goes. So this layout, even though it looks like it's a wedding layout, it's actually my anniversary layout. I didn't have a cute photograph of my husband and I recently, but I did have a picture of the flowers that he gave me for our anniversary, and I also had the little card that came on the flowers. Now, the card did not match the aesthetic of the layout at all. The color scheme was completely wrong, so I couldn't really get it onto the layout visually, but I wanted to keep it. I wanted it to be part of it. So I've just made this little hidden pocket behind the photos where I can slide that little sentiment into. And I might never read it again, but at least it's there in case I do want to read it again. So now I'm just going to build up the little bits of ephemera I'm going to put around the photos. And I'm not going to go too crazy with my ephemera. I adore the stitching and I want to be able to see the stitching. Not going to lie, it took a little bit of time to do all the stitching. So I want to make sure it's a feature on the page and I don't cover too much of it up. So as you can see, I've got my wedding, like the flowers my husband gave me, a picture of me and hubby, and I'm just going to build up 2 clusters on either side of the photograph. I'm going to pop things up on foam and just give that dimension. I'm going to try and use a little bit of everything. I want a little bit of chipboard. I want a little bit of sentiments. I want a little bit of like ephemera that are things. I don't know what you call that one, just normal ephemera. I just think that really helps a layout to grow, to have a variety. If you have only sentiments or if you have only pictures of things, that's fine. But I think having that mixture really builds your layout and helps add to your layout. I also love the way adding different types of ephemera like chipboard and puffy stickers and enamel dots really helps add texture and depth to your layouts as well. And I think it just gives it that extra pop that's really cute and really important. So I had a little trouble there at first sliding in my hidden tag, but it does go in, thank goodness, and it comes out again. But I realized here that it was actually really difficult to get out. So I needed to come up with another solution to just make pulling it out that little bit easier, because I didn't want it to be so difficult to come out that it was almost impossible. So I am going to have a play with that in a little bit further into the video. I really wanted to include that bouquet of flowers because, of course, that just matches perfectly with exactly what I'm talking about. So I've popped those on as well. And I was also really conscious of the color scheme I was using on this layout. It's quite pink and quite pretty. So I went sort of the pinks and greens mostly when choosing ephemera and bits and pieces, just because I thought that tied in really well with the photos and with the pattern paper I'm using in the background. I think having the black and white photo worked really well with this as well, because it didn't really take away from what else I was creating on the page, which is nice. It's so difficult sometimes to fill this space. I hope you enjoy listening to these voiceovers. Sometimes I'm not sure whether I should just stop talking and play music, or whether you like just listening to me tell you stories and listening to me chatter away to you. I hope it's the latter, because that's what I mostly do. I hardly ever put music into my videos. So I have now pulled out the thickers that came with this collection. There are two types. So there are the word phrases, which are a mixture of capital letters and cursive letters, and they're super cute. And I did decide to include a phrase from there onto my layout. If you watched my unboxing video, you'll also realize that I figured out if you used the phrases exactly as they intended you to, they all made perfect phrases, which I'm sure they do that on purpose, but I just love that when there's no sort of random words left over. It makes my heart happy. But there were also so many words that you could absolutely combine them in any way you wanted to, which I also like that as well, because sometimes you want the font or you want the ease of having words that are already written, but you want to make them make sense for you. So as you can see, I'm using the title Life with You. I do shuffle it over just a little bit off screen, so I'm not fiddling around too much with these letters. And then I pull out the other thickers that you can also purchase. One side, there is a larger size thicker that is black. And on this side, there is the smaller sized thicker that is all the colors. And I decided to choose just the pink ones and write the words 10 years, because that's what anniversary we are celebrating. I can't believe it sometimes. Surely I'm not old enough to have been married for 10 years, but apparently I am. So that is going to be my title. I really love that. I think it definitely sort of tells what is going on with this layout, which I love. Just popping on a few of those gorgeous little puffies. I could just put 10 of them on every layout. I have to restrain myself and just put a few. I'm kind of using them as accents to the enamel dots, using the little love hearts to add to the enamel dot. And then it was time to start thinking about how I wanted to add to my gift, to my little gift tag, to the tag that came with the flowers. I need to think about how I'm going to slide that in here and make it easier to pull in and out, because it does get stuck. And I thought the easiest thing to do would be to get a chipboard sentiment and add that on. So I go ahead and choose just a little one to add on up the top, so I can make sure you can still see the sentiment above the little floral bouquet, but then still have something to sort of hold on to and pull out. Then I'm finishing this one up with some splatters, as I love to do, in black and in gold, and this layout is complete. I hope you have enjoyed watching this process video with me. I have loved making this layout. It is one of my favorites. I think I really, really love it. All that stitching and the beautiful collection that I was working with to create this anniversary layout. And then the photos themselves, I just love it. I can't wait to put it in my album. I might even stick it on my wall for a little bit first as well. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Make sure you check out my layout next week as well, because there is more coming up. Thanks, everyone. Bye.